Welcome to another Connecting Live. I am about to be joined by Danny Wilson, who is the co-founder of Boxing Science. So very excited. We should be about to have a very interesting chat. Hope everyone is well. Just get Danny connected. 2 seconds. Hello. Hello. Hi.
Hi Lydia, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me for an episode of Collecting Live.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me on. It's always a pleasure to be invited on and discuss all things boxing.
Absolutely. Well, I was very excited when you said you'd come on because I keep seeing your name kind of on my feed and I
Yeah,
see all the great people that you're working with. So I'm delighted to get you on and talk about, well, boxing science for one, but how you got started and all the guys that you're working with and future plans and everything. So thank you very much.
yeah, no worries.
So I saw you're training Terry Harbour today.
Yeah, I've been training Terry Harper this morning and then doing some fitness testing with her because we're just at the start of like kind of working together. I did actually work with Terry when she was a youth athlete. So
Oh, okay.
she was on one of our youth programs. So that's the first time I came across Terry. And then obviously it's been great to see her flourish in the professional ranks and obviously win a world title, well, a couple of world titles. And then it's a pleasure to be involved with her now. And then this afternoon I've been with Herbie Price, Jordan
Oh,
Gill,
amazing. Brilliant.
and Lerone Richards. So yeah, really busy. I'm without a gym at the moment because the university that I'm mainly at, Sheffield University, is obviously shut because of coronavirus and everything like that. So I'm training about 6 different athletes in about 5 different locations at the moment. So I'm here,
No
there,
way.
and
So are
everywhere.
you
Yeah.
driving around trying to get to appointments?
Yeah. I've got one in like Exercise for Less, which is just like a budget gym. We
Yeah.
just go in and I have to train with them as well. So Kyle Yousaf, who's fighting for the British title, I'm doing the same runs as he is. So it's a little bit. I'm a bit of a sucker for punishment, doing some of the runs that they do as well. So
You're sort
yeah,
of you're sort of debunking the idea that, boxing science to train with elite athletes, you need to have a really fancy, state of the art gym and that's kind of where the elite kind of will be. But
yeah.
obviously not, it's more about, I suppose, well, explain to us, is it more about the kind of practice of what you're doing and the information that you're kind of giving to the fighter?
Yeah, absolutely. We pride ourselves on looking at the ways that we set in terms of scientific methods, the gold standard methods, and finding different ways to suit their training environment.
Hmm.
So when we did our first coaching course back in about October 2017, we had like all the kit set up. Like we had something that we call a gym aware, which
Hmm.
you attach to the bar and it monitors how fast the bar moves. We have an Opti-Jump, which calculates how high you jump. And I just like, we're teaching all these coaches, personal trainers, boxing coaches as well, how to use this piece of equipment. But then I just like got everyone to hold their hands up who has actually got access to this equipment. And there was like one person out of 20. So from then on, I've just been like, right, we've got to find different ways where our training methods can be accessed like by all different kinds of athletes and coaches in different environments. Also making things a little bit easier to understand because some of the programs that we put together are like super scientific. Sometimes people just need to be shown how to do the right set of mobility exercises. The amount of reps that they need to do when they're squatting or deadlifting and everything like that. So we've got like a range of different products and services that we've done online for a good number of years now. And it's amazing that it's been accessed by so many people in different locations around the world too.
Absolutely. Before we go into kind of who you've worked with and how
Mm.
you kind of develop programs and different things, if somebody was sat next to you and you had to give them, a paragraph on what is Boxing Social, what is the aim, what is it, like, what would you say to them?
Yeah, so Boxing Science is sports science
Boxing
organized.
Science. Did
Yeah,
I say
no,
Boxing
it's
Social?
yeah.
Hi,
Don't get me
Rob
done.
Tevis.
Don't get me done for copyright. Yeah, so I weren't going to correct you. I weren't going to correct you. But yeah, Boxing Science is basically a sports science organisation that is dedicated to sports science in boxing. We do testing, we do research, we do consultancy, and this is open to amateur boxers that are maybe in their first fight, junior amateurs working on their athletic development. And also we have really bespoke services for professional boxers and world champions as well. And then we do a range of online products and services. So coaches and athletes from all over the world can access our training methods.
In terms of your own background then, how did you get onto this path?
Yeah, so I was like a keen boxing fan. No, not from a boxing background as such. I'm mainly like football when I was growing up. And when I was doing my sports science degree at Sheffield University, I was a little bit lost on where to take that degree. Did I want to go into nutrition, personal training? Did I want to go into being a PE teacher? And then I saw Amir Khan and Manny Pacquiao training with Alex Ariza, and I was just like, I want to be that guy. I want to do. That's the kind of job that I want to do. I always loved the Rocky films. Always wanted to train. I always wanted to train like Rocky. As soon as I saw like Rocky, I was like doing sit-ups in my bedroom, trying to get a six-pack when I was like 12 years old. So yeah. So I've always like kind of found that kind of being attractive, and seeing actually somebody doing that as a job, I was like, right, that's what I want to do. But there was not really any kind of opportunities in boxing and doing strength conditioning. So I went more down the traditional route of strength conditioning, which is doing it with like university athletes. So I was part of the strength conditioning setup at Sheffield University, working with a range of different athletes from hockey to rugby league. I had one guy who did canoe. What do you do? I forgot what they call it. Canoe polo. So just like water polo, but in a canoe.
Way.
So totally different random sports. But also at the same time, I was at Sheffield United Football Club, working with their academy. And I learned loads from there, working from under 8s, under 16s. I eventually worked with under 18s on the first team as well. So the traditional route for strength and conditioning coaches is to either go down university route, go and work at the EIS, working with like GB, working in Olympic sports, or going like down like professional sports route, so football, rugby. But I always like kind of had that vision in working in boxing. And then one day when I was at the university gym, there was a university boxer that was there, and I just basically went up to him and just said, can I do your training for free? I'm wanting more experience in boxing. And he was like, obviously, wanted to take that on board because it was free, I think, not because I were any good. And then I met his coach from there, who is Brendan Warburton, who runs an amateur boxing club called Sheffield City ABC, and he introduced me to Callum Beardo, who I train today, and another professional boxer. And then from there, I started like kind of building up the fighters that I work with, like sort of getting them into like obviously doing them for free, but then started doing like a low cost Saturday morning session that attracted like boxers from all different gyms. And then I started doing like more bespoke one-to-one services for professional boxers. So that started around about back end of 2012, start of 2013. And I've just kind of been growing boxing science ever since then.
Like, you've obviously put in the work over the last couple of years, but for what you've achieved in the sport in such a short period of time, it's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, I'm quite humbled by kind of the support that I get across Instagram, and like I said earlier, to think that somebody from the other side of the world can access a program and message me and say how much the program has benefited their performance as well. All coming from like working with a student athlete in 2012 and having that vision of one day working with world champion boxers. To actually do that as a living, sometimes you've got to pinch yourself, definitely.
I think for anyone who's entrepreneurial, that has their own business, that started out by themselves and kind of has taken that road of just like trying absolutely everything to make it and to get the quote unquote big break. The dream is always to be able to have a career or to be able to live off of like what you're passionate about. It seems so insane that it's like not many people get to do that.
Yeah. And you know what? I've realised like over the last few weeks how much I actually love coaching, because obviously with lockdown, everything's taken away from you. We started doing like more online content, and you know, all right. The business survived. I'm glad to say, you know, we're still earning money, but I was missing coaching when it got taken away from me, and now I'm back. I'm busy. I've just said that I'm all over the place at the moment, but I get in. I left the house at 8:30 this morning. I've only just got in now. You know, I don't feel like I've done a 12-hour shift at work. You know, it's something that I love, and sometimes because like I've been so productive during lockdown and writing articles and doing content and everything, when I actually go out and coach, I get like kind of like itchy knuckles, like thinking I haven't done enough work, but I've been out all day coaching, which is like, you know, that is my job. But I feel like I feel like that's the fun side of it, and I'm falling behind on some of the online work and everything. But you got to think this is my bread and butter. This is what I do, and this is what I love to do as well. And this is the reason why I do all the online work as well. So it supports me doing this as a full-time job.
Absolutely. You've obviously worked with different athletes in different fields. Is there a difference between them? A noticeable difference between different athletes from different sports? Yeah,
absolutely. All different sports have like individual needs, different demands of what they need to do in terms of competition, to be successful at that sport as well. Your bread and butter kind of exercises such as squat, deadlift, bench press, doing Olympic lifting, learning how to produce force in the shortest amount of time, that can transfer to all sports, but there's also limitations to them sports as well. So in football, the limitation is that they have high amounts of training load and they have a high competition load as well. They have to compete sometimes 3 times within the same week, whereas like boxers, they can prepare for 12 weeks for just that single competition. Difference between football and boxing is that footballers can fuel up as much as they want, whereas like boxers, they have to lose weight, they have to make weight. So that makes a job as a strength and conditioning coach much harder, because you've got to compete with high training loads, being in a negative energy balance. You can't give them the right amount of load. Sometimes you've got to be very specific with your different exercises that you select. And also in the tapering phase as well, when they're going through hard spars, they might be sparring 2 or 3 times a week, 10 to 12 round spars. You can't be doing like heavy loaded strength conditioning in that stage. So you've got to be aware of what that athlete has to do, whether that's football or boxing. And then I've also done 5 years working in golf as well. So that's very different in terms of like how they approach the sport. Also like what they want to get out of strength conditioning compared to a boxer. Boxer wants to be beasted, they want to feel fit, they want to be in shape. Whereas like golfers, they want it very specific to their golf swing so they can rotate nicely and feel comfortable in the movement. So yeah, it does change, and there's a lot of great S&C coaches out there working in these different sports that is raising the level in each sport. It's not just boxing that S&C is happening. It's all in different sports.
How important is it to, I mean, obviously in a perfect world, we'd want everyone to go to Boxing Science and to work with yourself, but how important for somebody that maybe it doesn't or can't have access to, we'll say, the guys that are at the top of the game, how important is it to focus on your strength and condition, but with the right person?
Yeah, you don't want to be kind of going to your the next available person. You need to make sure that they have the credentials.
What should you be looking for? What's some of top tips to look out for?
In terms of credentials, in terms of strength and conditioning coaches, well, your gold standard is like obviously having a degree, having your accreditation of strength and conditioning with the UKCA. But the industry's changing. So there's like level 4 S&C coaches. That's a great qualification. And then there's people that have just been experienced and working with a certain amount of athletes. You know, if they're working with a wide range of athletes, being trusted by other coaches, then that's something that I need to look out for as well. If you look at the Boxing Science website and look at the and the Instagram and look at the exercises that we use, it's very similar to what are being used by the other top coaches in boxing at the moment. And if your S&C coach is doing something totally different to that, then maybe they're not following like kind of the gold standard practices of strength and conditioning. But strength and conditioning is like massively important because you know the game's changing. Athletes are getting fitter, they're getting stronger, but also it's about injury prevention as well and managing your training load. I'll just mention then about high training loads, negative energy balance. You're at high risk of injuring your shoulder. This can really affect your career in the long term as well. It can really stop you from being in the next competition or the next 3 competitions and stop your development as a boxer. So strength and conditioning is not just about getting stronger and fitter and being able to punch people harder in the face, but it's also looking after yourself as well and being the best that you can be. And the main thing about strength and conditioning is that it takes no talent to do it. So I can lift weights, but I'm never going to be as talented as the next boxer. But if you've got that talent, you're improving yourself as an athlete by 10, 15, maybe 20%. You're adding to your game as a boxer. So you're essentially optimizing your potential without like real much effort. So yeah, I think like all it takes is that consistency and that dedication. It's not going to be a 10-week program and then suddenly you're this amazing athlete. It takes a number of 10-week programs. I always use Jordan Gill as a prime example for strength conditioning because he's been with me for 5 years. The longest he's ever had off is about 3 or 4 weeks at maximum. And he's always on it. He's keeping on top of his weight. He's always progressing camp by camp. And there's never no backward steps. Whereas like some boxers that I've worked with before have either done 10 weeks and gone, oh, I don't feel benefits, move on. And we're like, well, it's not that. It's the 3 or 4 camps back to back. So you can start building on and more advanced training methods to make you into a better athlete. Or they do 1 training camp and then don't see him for 3 or 4 months. And then they're back again and they're starting from square one. So the main thing is not just seeing it as a quick fix, not just seeing it as something to put into your camp. It needs to be structured and it needs to be progressive as well.
Who is your favourite type of client? What qualities do they possess?
I think I more or less just said it there. Somebody that's going to be committed and dedicated. Someone that like looks at the 1%, does everything that you ask of them. Really, it's sometimes a program can be affected if they're not looking at them 1%. So if somebody's not looking after their nutrition or their recovery or their hydration, you can have the best strength conditioning program in the world. You can be training as hard as you can, but if you haven't got these kind of main blocks and these foundations in place, then you're not going to optimize the effects of that program. So somebody that kind of covers all bases definitely is the best, and stays committed to the program. Definitely the best people to work with, and also a good sense of humor as well.
Oh, well, that's key for anything, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Especially if you're going to be working long camps with them or many camps, you want to be able to. But that was something that I wanted to ask you, especially in terms of, you know, saying that you're working with Jordan and all these different athletes, boxers that you've worked with. What is the feeling like when you work with an athlete and you develop them in a certain way? You can see the progression, you know that they're ready, that they're fit, that they're going to put on the best performance, and then they get in there and they do the job. How does that resonate with you on a personal level? Oh,
it's massive. It's why boxing grips you so much. Like thinking about it today, thinking like I used to be a massive football fan, and then
who did you support?
Now I'm in Sheffield Wednesday. Not too good.
I support Spurs.
Oh right,
we all have our issues.
Yeah. I'm watching the All or Nothing documentary at the moment, which is brilliant. absolutely loving that. But yeah, it's like boxing gets you. It's like you get really passionate about it, and no matter how many knockbacks you get from it, whether you're upset if your favourite fighter loses or there's a dodgy decision or something like that, and you complain about it, you go on Twitter, but next week you'll still be watching it because you absolutely love it and get that buzz. And I'm a boxing fan as well. So when I'm emotionally invested into it and obviously investing a lot of time, when I see them get into the ring, I'm feeling every single punch. When it's a big fight, I'm like nervous all day. I'm having to go and train and try and take my mind off it and everything like that. And then when they win, it's massively rewarding because, these are putting so much time and effort into it. And each fight is like kind of changed their life and working towards the goal of being world champions. So to have a small impact on that and on their strength and their fitness, obviously with their boxing coach having the biggest impact and the family around them as well. To know that you've had small impacts and to help them and they appreciate that and they go and get the win. It's such a buzz, such a buzz. I'm also like part of the amateur boxing club, Sheffield City, ABC. I go to the amateur shows. I'm in the corners. I'm shouting for like kids that have only had like 2 bouts and like trying to help them and what to do and everything like that. And that passion's there from somebody that's having a second bout in amateur on an amateur show, all the way to being on the bright lights matchroom boxing show. So yeah, absolutely. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant part of the. And thing is, like you do all the strength and conditioning, that's great, and I'm enjoying that. But then you actually see them in action. It's really exciting, really good.
Absolutely. In terms of then, your own sort of, I suppose, the imprint that you want to leave on the sport. Obviously, you have boxing science and everything that you're doing. I assume that you want to work with the elite athletes and to continue to grow the business. But again, maybe on sort of like a legacy sort of standpoint, what do you want to achieve?
Yeah, so I like that because you said like, working with elite athletes, but what is the legacy that boxing science wants to achieve? And this is the reason why we did boxing science and doing loads of free articles and videos and everything like that. We want to have the impact on the sport. We want to raise the standards of strength and conditioning in the sport. I like to think that we've done that. We've highlighted it to athletes either following our programs or thinking, oh, that looks good, I need to get a strength and conditioning coach. And we might have direct or indirect impacts on people's careers and everything like that. For me, I'm really passionate about getting something set up, a youth program. A really big thing that we wanted to push on for 2020. We have a youth athlete initiative. So we go to like regional amateur sessions and put on strength and conditioning sessions for free because we know that getting a strength and conditioning coach can be really expensive. You might not know people in the area, the right strength and conditioning coach to go to, might not have the finances or the time to do strength and conditioning. So it's all about kind of athlete education, being aware of what to do and what not to do, coach education as well. So we want to set up like a system for youth athletes so they get strength and conditioning from a very early age. This is something that we've like tried to accomplish from 2014 when we first started because the first time an amateur boxing coach, an amateur boxer sees a strength and conditioning coach is more than likely to be on the England boxing program, or a GB boxing program, which were back in the day. Now England boxing are doing better things, but back in 2014, we've got all these amateur boxers. They only see a strength and conditioning coach if they get to GB boxing. So they've got to achieve, they've got to win loads of national titles. They've got to win international competitions to be able to get the chance to work with the S&C coach. So, I want to make that accessible for and affordable. I'd love to do it for free for all the young amateur boxers. So trying to find like a way to do this youth athlete initiative post-COVID now. But just carrying on, growing and trying to get our online reach more and more. And hopefully that most boxing gyms in the UK are following some sort of boxing science or strength conditioning methods.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's hope. Here's to a successful future. Well, while we were talking, everyone has an opportunity to send in some questions if they want to ask some
Okay.
questions. So let me
Oh,
just have a
brilliant.
look and see what is there. Um, Mohammed Alquez, I think it is, has asked, who has been your favorite boxer that you've worked with?
Oh, I can't say that I've got any favourites. I can't say that, but I've got like great relationships with Callum Beardo, Jordan Gill, Carl Youssef.
Mhm.
These are people that I've coached for 5 years, so I've probably seen them more than my mum and dad for the last 5 years. I'm seeing them 2, 3, 4 times a week. And you build these strong relationships with them, and to see, like I said, to see them be successful and be in the ring and everything is really great. And I'm lucky to work with these athletes for such a long time.
Mm.
Not many strength and conditioning coaches in the country will have them kind of long-term relationships, even if you're in a football club. Footballers kind of come and go, or they're part of a
Yeah.
team, or to have that one-to-one time, it's massive. So yeah, Callum, Kyle, and Jordan are ones that are kind of long-standing that I've got good friendships with. But also, I like them all at the moment. We've got a really good set of athletes at the moment. We've got Lerone. He's a good laugh. Has he been on this?
He usually does leave a little comment.
Leave a little
Uh,
comment. But he's a good laugh. Hope, Terry, they're all brilliant athletes to work with. So yeah, they're all good.
cool. Kira Smith has asked, when you were growing up or now, who was your favorite boxer or who were you most inspired by?
Inspired by. Well, my favorite boxer growing up was Naz, because I'm
Yeah.
a Sheffielder. So when he was at his peak, I was about 5, 6 years old. I've actually got his annual, 1996 annual
No
somewhere.
way.
Yeah, I need to try and dig. I need to try and dig that out. So
You
yeah,
need you
so
need to get him to sign that. That's what you need to
I
do.
know. Yeah, I'll try and hunt him down. But yeah, Naz, Mayweather, unbelievable. Andre Ward, just like Naz obviously is flash, hard hitting, but I like intelligent fighters such as like Mayweather and Canelo, Lomachenko. These are ones that stand out in supreme skill, but also they're thinking fighters as well.
So, right in thinking that, someone like Lomachenko would be a dream client.
I don't know. He's got some crazy methods. Wouldn't want to go in and go right. He's doing these gym ring press ups and all this fancy footwork, and he asked me to try and do that as well. I'll probably embarrass myself. No, I don't mean it, like when I was when I was first starting, I'd be thinking, oh, I want to work with like somebody like Mayweather or something like that. But I prefer to like kind of work with like younger boxers that have that potential to go on to world honours, because you're having a bigger impact on the journey. I've
Yeah.
worked with world champions before. They've like almost completed their journey, and you're just adding just like a little bit, and that might be just a short term thing. Working with athletes like from the first, that have got the potential and the dedication, the commitment to the program. They're the ones that are a dream to work with. So there's no kind of boxer out there that I go, right, I definitely want to work with that person.
Good stuff. Right, there's a couple after coming in there just while we're talking.
Okay,
Okay, I'll
brilliant.
add Fabio Wardly.
Yes.
Out of all the heavyweights that Danny has trained, who has got the highest record on the 30-15 sprint test?
Well, there's only one heavyweight that could run that fast, and that's Fabio Wardly, of course. So yeah, Fabio's another great one. I missed off him to my list, because obviously I'm doing that remotely because he's in Ipswich.
Yeah.
If I was traveling down there every day, I'd definitely be busy and tired. But yeah, Fabio's great to work with. Really dedicated athlete, and he sends me videos through to look at his technique, and almost every time it's flawless. So I just set him the program. He follows it to a T, and got some fantastic results last time. And for him to be English champion in as little fights as he had, not only as a professional, but just from a white collar background as well, it's amazing. So really looking forward to seeing how he progresses in the future.
I know, me too. He's great.
Yeah.
Okay, there is Sniper the Baby. I think this might be the wrong. I think this might be his baby's account, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's
God,
his,
I can't believe he can type already. He's only a couple of weeks old. He's asked, what advice would you give a student that plans to go into strength and conditioning training? Good question.
That's very mature from a baby.
Very mature. He's obviously thinking about thinking about what he wants to do after school and stuff.
Yeah. So student, try and get as much experience as possible. When I was like in my undergraduate, so before I even got a degree, I was working so many hours round the clock, just to try and get as much experience as you can. Not just settling, I'm doing a bit of voluntary role, I'm ticking the box, try and just wish the hours away. You've got to open yourself to as many experiences as you can, and engage with them experiences as well, and try and learn and develop as much as you can. And you're never going to be the finished article, so never be overly confident, but also don't be too critical on yourself. I was speaking to one of the coaches that I mentor the other day, and he was like saying, if you saw me like coaching, I made some mistakes. I'm like, I made mistakes last week. I made mistakes. I know I've talked about a major mistake that I made last year, and that you're always going to make mistakes, and don't be afraid of making them. And always like kind of express yourself. People can kind of shy away from doing the coaching or doing some online stuff or anything like that because they're thinking that they're going to be judged or going to be said or be taken the piss out of or whatever. Always kind of don't be thinking about what other people's opinions are. Always, if you think that is the right thing to do, go for it and go for it 100%.
We can't do much more than that answer. That was fantastic. That was brilliant.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it for coming on. That was great.
Yeah, no worries at all.
Good stuff. For anyone that's watching, if they want to find out more information about Boxing Science, not Boxing Social.
No, not Boxing Social, no.
Should they just reach out to you on Instagram, or what should they do?
Yeah, so this account, Wilson_Boxing Science, also run another account called Boxing Science. Also give a shout out to another Instagram account that I've got. It's called Red Zone Running. So if anybody's looking to do like high intensity interval training, doing some treadmill runs, if you found running boring, try out one of our sessions on there. We put up 3 sessions every day. So go and check out Red Zone Running. And then go and have a browse at boxingscience.co.uk. Got all different articles on strength training, on running, on nutrition, psychology, and also we've got our membership as well that you can sign up for free 7-day trial, and we've got loads of different content. If I describe the online membership, it's the Netflix of boxing strength conditioning, if that's even anything.
Sold.
Yeah.
Sold already.
Yeah, so there's 30-minute workshops, and some are done by myself, some are done by members of the Boxing Science team, but also different practitioners across like GB Boxing, the UFC Performance Institute. We've got Duncan French, who is the head of the UFC Performance Institute as well, who does a couple of workshops for us. So we've got a huge range of different ways that you can learn more about boxing, strength conditioning, and you can access that all for free. And if you don't like it, you can cancel it anytime.
Amazing. Well, listen, thank you again. And I'm so excited. Congratulations for everything that you've built so far. It really is, it's such an exciting company. So I wish you all the best of this.
Oh, thank you, Lydia. I appreciate it.
No problem at all. See you soon.
Brilliant. See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye, Danny. See you later. Bye-bye.